Hi guys, welcome back to another edition of Max and Nicky 1000th Time Reactions.
Where we react to a song for our first time after listening to it for our 1000th time.
That's right. We release 3 videos a day.
Every day.
So please hit that subscribe button.
And turn on post notifications.
So you don't miss out on all this great content. What are we going to listen to right now, Nicky?
We're going to listen to Hooked on a Feeling by Blue Swede.
That's
now, we've
right.
heard this song so many times, thousands of times. Heard it on the radio all the time. But for all intents and purposes, we'll call it our 1000th time.
That's right. If you're new to the channel, what we like to do here is listen to the song all the way through without stopping.
So we don't interrupt the intention of the artist.
Yeah.
And then we'll react to it afterwards. We'll talk about a reaction to it, and we'll go into some in-depth analysis and maybe talk about a little bit about the history about it.
That's
if we know
right.
the history.
As we normally do, we like to mention that we also have another YouTube channel called Max and Nicky.
On which we perform oldies, tunes, jazz standards, and originals in that vein.
And we got comedy videos on there as well. But for right now, let's take a listen to Blue Swede's Hooked on a Feeling.
For our 1000th time.
Here we go.
Hookah chaka, hookah, hookah, hookah chaka, hookah, hookah, hookah chaka, hookah, hookah, hookah chaka, hookah, hookah.
I can't stop this feeling deep inside of me. Girl, you just don't realize what you do to me. When you hold me in your arms so tight, you let me know everything's alright. I'm hooked on a feeling. I'm high on believing that you're in love with me. Lips as sweet as candy, its taste is on my mind. Girl, you got me thirsty for another cup of wine. Got a bug from you, girl, but I don't need no cure. I just stay a victim if I can for sure. All the good love when we're all alone. Keep it up, girl. Yeah, you turn me on. I'm hooked on a feeling. I'm high on believing that you're in love with me. All the good love when we're all alone. Keep it up, girl. Yeah, you turn me on. I'm hooked on a feeling. I'm high on believing that you're in love with me. I'm hooked on a feeling. And I'm high on believing that you're in love with me. I said I'm hooked on a feeling, and I'm high on believing that you're in love with me. Hooked on a feeling.
All right, that's a fun song.
It's a catchy tune, man. It's catchy. And God, what a bizarre thing to have become popular where it starts off with ooga chaka, ooga chaka, ooga.
No, you're not doing
ooga
it. It's
chaka, ooga, ooga, ooga chaka.
Ooga chaka, ooga, ooga. Yeah, that's right. I know, it's kind of an interesting thing. Yeah.
It's like, what is that, you know?
Well, it sounds like that kind of thing sounds like something you might hear in the late 50s or early 60s. There was something novel about it, like the Diamonds, you know. What's that song? What's that song, you know, by the Diamonds?
I don't know.
I can't remember, but they have some, you know, they were into these novelty songs, you know, in the late 50s and early 60s. And even if the song itself was a catchy tune, there was some novel thing about it. I mean, it's like, for instance, why the Alvin and the Chipmunks got so big. There was
Sure.
something novel about that.
Sure.
But they would do these funny little things like that.
Sure.
And that reminds one of a sort of, kind of like one of these vocal groups. From the
Well,
late
it also
50s,
kind of
early
reminds you of
60s,
some kind of, military march or something. But it kind of reminds me of ants marching, really.
Is it the Diamonds? Little Darling, I think, or something like that. Or I can't remember.
Okay. Well, anyway, so that's already an interesting thing, and that probably already sold people on the song, even with that. But then it really becomes like this just really catchy song.
Right, but the way it's arranged, it makes it feel like it's some sort of, you want to hear this during the summer or something like that. You're
Right.
on the beach, kind of,
But also, it's interesting. You initially hear those vocals, and then you hear this organ coming ever so slightly in the right ear.
and it's very effective. Again, when you're listening to it, probably without headphones, and you're listening on the radio,
You don't catch
you
all
probably
these little
don't catch
details.
it, but it's just adding something a little extra to it that may
fills
go
out the
unnoticed,
space.
but adds to the whole. Adds to the whole of it.
Something I also thought was interesting was dun 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 dun. Like it sounded like the low notes on a guitar, but it almost sounded almost bass, like a bass quality to it. But it was a guitar, obviously, because you could hear also the bass on the very low end there. But it sounded like the very high notes of a guitar bass, but it was really just a guitar, the low notes of a guitar.
Also, his voice is very powerful. I mean, I'm not going to do it as powerful. I mean, he has kind of a rasp to it too. He kind of really.
And you kind of
powerful.
want to sing it like him. You want to sing it
Yeah.
out
Oh,
loud
see,
like
look,
him.
I didn't want to do that because I just clipped on accident.
Sure.
So you might hear some
Pardon.
clipping
but
on the.
That's
recording.
a cool thing. But also another thing I noticed, which is interesting, was the drums were mainly in the center, but the hi-hat was on the right and all the way to the right, actually. What an interesting way of panning the drums.
Right.
This was actually just done with the LCR panning, where you either heard stuff all the way to the left, all the way to the right, or down the middle.
I like the that obviously there's horns in this, but that kind of adds to this, I don't know, beachy vibe to me,
I don't get a beachy vibe, but
I do, because there is something. It almost has a. I don't want to quite say like a ska thing, but because that's more like. But it has that sort of a feel to it, I do think of just kind of a beachy feel.
I don't get that. I don't get that kind of.
I do.
Feeling.
I do.
I don't get that kind of feeling.
Deep inside, and it's a catchy tune. Of course, this was not originally written by Blue Swede. This was, I think, kind of a hit for B.J. Thomas before them, actually.
Oh, really? Is that so?
Yeah. He has a version of it, but I don't know who wrote it, but I mean, it's a Swedish group. I mean, they're called Blue Swede, but it's a Swedish group. I mean, that was particularly rare for the time that an international band or a band foreign to either the Americas.
Well, this came out in the early 70s,
either to
right?
the United States or England. Would be such a worldwide hit.
I guess, but this came out in the early 70s. I mean, it was not too far removed from ABBA kind of hitting it big.
No, I know, but
internationally.
this predates ABBA though. I believe.
Sure.
I believe.
Well, yeah, there is that. There's that Japanese instrumental song that was very big in the 60s, right?
Well, no, not instrumental, a vocal song.
Oh, right, it is a vocal song.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's that was really big.
That was really big. Yeah.
That was really big. No, it wasn't. That was even before. I think that might have been the 50s, actually.
I think it was like maybe 1960 or something.
I can't remember, actually. I mean, yes, there were some hits. There was also, obviously, there's that Italian hit. I mean, Volare, but that's not what it's called. It's called, I forgot. It's like Il something or other, but
Sure,
the
there's
lyrics
lots
are
of hits.
volare, oh, cantare, oh. That was a hit,
Sure. I mean, there's.
I mean, and France had quite a few hits too, I suppose.
Sure. I mean, of course they did.
but I guess Sweden
Also, on top
was
of that,
Sweden at least.
The movie when a man and a woman came out, the famous song from it, the title theme, Un homme et une femme. That was very,
Comme la Yeah, I know.
That
but
was very popular
I guess
too.
I just thought, I guess in the early 70s, Sweden was not known to, I mean, they churn out hits. Later on, ABBA, when they got huge, they kind of changed the industry for the Swedes. Now Swedes, Scandinavian people dominate the
They
industry.
dominate the pop world. They
dominate
write
the
all
pop world.
all the pop tunes now.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is a very catchy tune, and it's great to just belt out to it in your own car. You know.
Well, it's great because if you got a group of people doing it, you can all be doing, you know, maybe let's say there's 4 of you in the car, 3 people can be going, ooga chugga, and then one person can belt it out, and it's just a fun thing to do.
Right. I think that's going to do it for this reaction video. If you like what you heard and saw today, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications to find out about more Max and Nicky reaction videos.
Please keep tuning in.